Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about something that I do whenever I have time, and that is something called Uber Eats. Now, I did make a video about whether or not Uber is worth it in the year 2022. I was uploaded probably a while back. Might have been 2021 I was talking about, I'm not sure, but nonetheless I did make a video about Uber. But this particular video was going to be about Uber Eats, and I'm actually just going to wait until I get the next request, and that what we'll do is that we'll go to the restaurant, we'll pick up the food, and I'll talk about whether or not Uber Eats is worth it. And I'll just talk about my overall experience with it. So I'm just gonna end this part of the video right here so I could put on Uber, the Uber app, and wait for the next Uber Eats request. All right, so I actually got a request pretty shortly after the last video I just did, where I said I was gonna wait for the next order. It was wasn't even 5 minutes that I had to wait, actually. So we're on our way to this Mexican food restaurant called Filiberto's, and they do make pretty good tacos there. If you're in San Diego, check them out. I think there's a few of them in San Diego, but I am gonna go pick that up now in their drive-thru because I know they have one there. I've been here before. And then we'll go to the customer's place and deliver it. And so let's go ahead and let me just go ahead and pick up the food now. All right. So we have a Uber Eats order to deliver here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and drop it off in front of the this person's doorstep here. And a lot of Uber Eats orders are gonna be you're not going to be required to actually see them in person. You just drop it off in their front door. So let's just do that right now. So I just delivered the gentleman's food. I left it at his front doorstep there. And what you do is with Uber Eats, a lot of the orders are you're going to take the food, you're going to leave it at their doorstep, you're going to take a picture of the picture of the food at the doorstep. That way they know that the food has arrived. And then that way they don't actually have to meet you in person. They call that contactless delivery. Was introduced in 2020 during the pandemic. And I actually like that a lot. It's good if you just don't want to deal with a lot of people, I suppose. I am a people's person, so I don't mind. I do regular Uber as well, although not in this car, not in the Lexus. I do that in the 2018 Corolla, which that car is assigned for passengers. But anyhow, yeah. The next segment of the video, I'm going to be talking about whether or not Uber Eats is worth it. Just giving my general opinion on it. But for now, I'm actually going to take more orders because it is the lunch hour right now. And you got some lunch orders coming in and with some good tips. So I'm going to do that now. The next segment of the video is going to be after I am finished with that. And I'll talk about my in-depth discussion opinion on Uber Eats. So I'll see you again in the next segment of the video. So I'm home now after taking a few deliveries. I was out there for about 2 hours, 2.5 hours actually. And you were just with me in that first delivery. So I'm going to talk about whether or not Uber Eats is worth it. I'm not going to be talking about the Uber passenger aspect of it, only Uber Eats here. So Uber Eats, on my opinion, is worth it, but it's worth it depending on what your situation is. And it's going to be different for everybody because in my case, I do Uber Eats and Uber, in fact, as my side gig. I do that just to make extra money, and it's pretty good extra supplemental income because I already have a full-time job already. So it's definitely worth it there. I'm just gonna get this out of the way because I think it's something that a lot of us Uber drivers and Uber Eats drivers or gig economy drivers agree with, and that's that these apps do not pay enough. It could pay better, in fact. Because, we are in a time now, 2022/2023, when inflation is really high and the wages just have not gone up. And so gas prices as well is one of the things that go up. These gig apps do not actually contribute to your fuel. So that comes out of your pocket. So Uber Eats, worth it if you do have especially worth it if you have a 4-cylinder car or a small car, a Prius, a Tesla. In my case, I was driving my Lexus IS250 because the 2018 Corolla I have is currently in the shop right now getting some repairs, but it's no big deal. I'll have that car back pretty soon. So definitely worth it if you have a smaller car with a smaller engine, because you're not consuming that much gas, and thus you're not putting your earnings back into the fuel tank. So when it comes to earnings, it could be a little bit better, yes, but you are nonetheless going to make some money. And if you're smart about it, you could probably maximize your profits. And what I do is I actually nitpick. Here in California, you have the option to cherry pick, and you could choose which rides you want to take. And in my case, I try to pick the best rides possible, the most paying ones. And the tip on Uber Eats is, for the most part, I'd say, I don't want to say only 50% of the Uber Eats customers tip, because I do get a lot of rides I do get a lot of deliveries that end up tipping. So I don't know what percentage it would be. You could tell me what your experience is when it comes to tipping, but the tipping kind of makes it worth it. And as I said, the wages could be better, or the income could be better, but that could be offset. You could offset that if the customers are tipping pretty well. And so the potential is there. That's one thing about Uber Eats that you should probably know about as well, is that every day is going to be different. You might get like some deliveries where, let's say you have 5 deliveries of the day. You're doing this part-time, for example. Let's say that only one of those customers tip. Then that would be considered kind of like a mediocre or bad day, I suppose. But today I had 4 of my 5 customers tip. I keep saying passengers because I drive for Uber as well, so I got to get used to saying that. But yes, Uber Eats is worth it, and I would definitely say that if you want something that's an easy job, it is an easy job, by the way, because the app itself is very easy to use. You just accept the deliveries, you go to the restaurant, you pick it up, and then you drop it off in front of their house, usually at their doorstep, where you take a picture of their food at the doorstep. Because ever since the pandemic, there's been something called contactless delivery, where you don't physically have to hand it to the person. So that's actually pretty nice, I guess, if you don't want to deal with people. Let's just say that you're not really social or whatever, or you just want to do something where it involves minimal contact with people. I guess Uber Eats is something that you could consider, because you'll be driving most of the time and just delivering it to their front doorstep. So to conclude, is Uber Eats actually worth it? And I would say yes. Yes, it is worth it. There are definitely going to be some cons about it. The income that you make is probably not the best, but as I said, if you get a lot of tips, then, provide good customer service, then that could offset that. You could make some pretty decent money. And what else am I going to say? I think that's all I'm going to say, really. I think I covered about everything. Uber Eats is worth it. And yeah, give it a try if it's something that you want to do. Definitely profitable on the dinner rush hour times, which is basically any time between 5 and 10 p.m., I guess, depending on your market. Or even the lunch one. Today I did a lunch rush, so it was pretty nice as well. But anyways, that's it when it comes to Uber Eats. I will see you in the next video, whatever that may be. And I'll talk about whatever that video may be about. But Uber Eats is worth it, yes. And that's pretty much all I have to say. See you again next time. Thank you for watching. God bless you, and ta-ta for now.